I started programming out of fear. Allow me to explain. Around 700 days ago, I was 19, in the first year of college, and I made my money day trading. It was a full-on bull market. Everything was rising, but I knew it's not going to last forever. I kinda felt that hard times are coming, and I was right. I was fearful that I wouldn't be able to sustain myself anymore when the trading stuff is done. I knew that it's time to cultivate skills like marketing, coding, design, but there were so many options out there and I was so confused on which direction to go. I was talking to one of my senior friends and I told him, "Man, I don't know. I feel that I'm growing up and I have no hard skills. I want to create stuff, help people, do something with my life, not just trade. It's risky, it's stressful, and I see numbers moving up and down every day." Him being a senior software engineer didn't give me a long answer, but a powerful one. "You got some technical skills, you're a smart man, you could try coding." I wrote some HTML when I was like 12, but once I got into PHP and JavaScript, I dropped it off because it seemed too complicated. I started out like everyone else with free codecamp, the three pillars of any junior developer: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I remember HTML and CSS being pretty easy to grasp. Not much changed since I was 12, but when I got into JavaScript, that's where I really had to learn new stuff. I had a rough time understanding the syntax, but I pushed through, and eventually finished all of the tutorials. I also remember building a simple landing page with my new acquired technical skills. You can imagine how that looked. I rushed into learning React because I knew that was the industry standard. And I wanted to be employable as fast as possible. I studied React on Scriba. It's such an amazing resource, 10 out of 10. They really had these nice interactive tutorials. I studied around 4 to 6 hours per day. I just had college going on back then, so nothing much to do. In my free time before bed, I was gaming. So my usual day looked like this. Wake up, go to college, come home, learn to code, get frustrated with errors, get frustrated with losing, and sleep. The most trouble I had with React was understanding that map. For some reason, it couldn't enter my head. Use state, okay, I get it, we change the state on the page. Use effect, okay, it runs when we first enter the page. But that map, I don't know, some stuff just won't enter your brain. And that's okay, that's how we learn. I knew that it was important understanding everything. I rushed into learning React, but I did not rush learning React, if that makes sense. Around 50 days into my learning journey, I got a message by my senior friend that we talked about earlier saying, "Hey, I have this website for a client. Wanna give it a try?" I was so freaking excited. My first client, of course. I really had no idea what I was getting into. I was just learning at the time, fresh out of the basics of React, with no side project or real-world experience. The tasks were simple. Center that div, put that image there, the color should be like this, make it responsive, and also take this design as a support. Once I got my hands on the keyboard, I literally started shaking. Jumping into coding something, especially for someone that pays actual cash for it, can generate some anxiety, especially if you haven't done that before. But I locked in, because I knew I had a duty to fulfill and I couldn't let my mentor down. Something that will take me today around 30 minutes, back then it took me 3 hours. Man, I butchered that website. Every commit that I did to GitHub had some mistake in it. But eventually got to a finished product. My mentor had to come in a few times and fix the mess that I created, but he was pretty proud of how I managed everything with the experience that I had, which was none at the time. Taking responsibility so early proved to be a good decision on my side. I got a taste on how a real-world project looks like and how is it like for people depending on your code. When doing tutorials, you don't feel any pressure. At most, you are frustrated that your code doesn't compile or that you get an error. But first time coding for someone, an error feels 5 times worse. Even the red from the terminal feels more red. I was introduced on how important it is to clearly communicate with clients, how the project is going, the challenges that you encounter, time of delivery, requesting materials if necessary. Tutorials teach us how to code the thing, but not really how to deliver it and create a nice development experience for yourself, your teammates, and your clients. On delivering, maybe you want to sell your coding side project. I created a guide recently that explains just that. I'll leave it here on the screen. Cheers!